Hi there. So let's talk about the recently concluded elections from Congo. And today, the results from the 26 provinces have begun coming in, trickling in, arriving at the towering center in Kinshasa. And it shows that the current president, Felix Tshisekedi, is leading by a wide margin. Currently, from the sources there, he's leading. He has 63% of those votes that have so far arrived, and his closest rival has 18%. And before that, about 2 days ago, the results for the diaspora also came in, and they showed that he was leading. And from these articles, you can see the results begin to trickle in. Felix Tshisekedi leads diaspora votes, where the diaspora votes were not that much. They were just 13,000, very tiny compared to the 44 million registered voters inside Congo. But those 13,000 Congolese people who live outside Congo, and they decided to vote because a lot of them didn't vote. They didn't care. When some people go outside the country, they don't care about what happens back home. But though the Congolese people have been paying attention nowadays. So those who voted actually gave him 80% of their votes to Felix Tshisekedi. So it shows that a lot of Congolese people who live outside Congo want the current president to continue to take another term so that he can complete all the dreams and promises that he gave the Congolese people. Now, that is what is happening today, and this is an election that a lot of people actually called into question, including the Congolese opposition that began saying they are going to protest during the day of voting. Even before the voting stopped, they were saying that they are going to protest. And that is Martin Fayulu was already issuing press statements saying he's going to protest. The reason, he says that the election was marred by malpractices, and it was marred by delay. It faced a lot of delay and logistical challenges. So the reason behind this is obvious. Congo doesn't have proper roads, and the country is huge. Congo is huge because you can fly from one corner of Congo to another for 2 hours. It would take you 2 hours to fly over the Congolese airspace, because most of the time it's flying from Dar es Salaam to Johannesburg will take you 2 hours thereabouts. Flying from Addis Ababa to Lusaka, Zambia is 2 hours. But in Congo, you say flying from Goma to Kinshasa will take you 2 hours. That's how huge this country is. It's bigger than continental Western Europe. The countries that are part of EU today, the Germany, France, and all those others, Congo is bigger than them combined in terms of geographical area. And this is a country that doesn't have proper roads, so there were logistical challenges. The logistics to move these ballots to the 76,000 polling stations was a nightmare. And certain polling stations got to start voting 5, even 6 hours after the voting started because of logistical problems. Others continued voting to the next day on the 21st. But all in all, a lot of Congolese people participated in this election than they did in the previous one. And during this election, the whole world was watching this election. They wanted to know what is happening in Congo. The reason behind that is because Congo is the second largest country when it comes to copper production in the world. And today we have internet, we have electricity, we have all these appliances that are using copper wires and copper bodies inside them. And Congo is the largest producer of a mineral called cobalt. Now, cobalt is the main ingredient when it comes to making lithium batteries. And these lithium batteries actually the ones that we find in electric vehicles like this one here. And we keep talking about the future is green, green energy, where we aspire a future where people will have solar panels on their roofs and all these boxy, batteries like this one called power walls. And these batteries that will be storing energy to be used at night will be made up of hundreds of lithium batteries, like the ones you find in vehicles, these electric vehicles. And all those vehicles, all those mobile phones and laptops and drones that we fly and the future robots will be running on lithium batteries that are powered by cobalt mined in Congo. That's why the world was watching the election and hoping that a weaker presidential candidate wins so that they can manipulate him and steal Congolese minerals or get it for cheap, So that's why they were watching it. That's why they are keen to know what is going to happen in Congo. And I think a lot of countries like China and the US do not like Felix Tshisekedi because he has been tough. He's not as good as John Magufuli from Tanzania, but he has been there, close to that. And they don't like an imposing president who knows what is right for his people. They want weak president like Joseph Kabila. And that is what happened. And as you can see, Congolese in South Africa, all over the place were voting. And as this was going on, the enemies of Congo were not sleeping. And that's why I want to tell you that there was an attack by M23 and Rwandan troops in Goma. They've tried to take regions past Sake. They tried to take Kasake, they already passed. They tried to approach Bihambwe, which is a town north of the mining region of Rubaya. So I'm going to show you a map so that some of you can see what I'm talking about. So, okay, quick. This is the Goma, right? This Goma. From Goma, you move northwest, you come to Sake. There's a road there that goes north. This road goes to places like Bibatama mines. That's where you find also cobalt and tin, Burungu, all the way to Ruchuru. Then there's the one that continues west, comes to Mishaki, the town that M23 tried to take. And then this is where they were fighting, Bihambwe. They tried to fight, they were fighting with Wazarendo, the local militia made up of local youths. So they've been fighting for these 2 days. So they were fighting around Bambwe because they want to capture the township of Rubaya, as I said. And in Rubaya, this whitish part is where you find coltan mining, a lot of it. Coltan mining, and coltan is actually mined from here and taken through black market on its way to Rwanda. And I know a lot of people say, but Rwanda has its own coltan mines, but the evidence doesn't show that. So, for example, this is Wikipedia. There's a page called Wiki Culton, and you go to percentage of global tantalum. Tantalum is actually the coltan itself. We usually call it coltan because it's the Colombian tantalum. The one in Congo is Colombian tantalum. So in short, we join the word Colombia and tantalum to form coltan, but it's the same. So global production of tantalum or coltan. Look at the number here. They have, as you can see, this is what they say. Coltan is used primarily for production of tantalum capacitors used in mobile phones and almost every kind of electronic device. So Congo is actually where all these electronic things we are enjoying are coming from. Now, look at the number, the figure, from 1990 here to 2013. At least that's where it has. Production, Congo was producing 2.5% despite being under Mobutu and being under dictatorial and wars regime, right? Rwanda apparently didn't even have a single coltan production until the formation of M23 in 2010. All of a sudden they discovered that they could produce coltan. Oh, so the coltan in Rwanda was actually discovered in 2010. But guess what? In Congo, they've been producing coltan during Mobutu and other dictators. But guess what? In 2010, the coltan in Congo disappeared. Oh, shit. So, like, when Rwanda discovered their coltan, Congo lost 3 years. It was misplaced somewhere. And the next year, 2011, oh, Congo didn't have coltan, but Rwanda had 15%, almost a fifth of the coltan production in the world. In 2012, when M23 was capturing the city of Goma, of course, Congo again rediscovered their coltan, but guess what? Rwanda's production went up to almost now a quarter of the world production. Look at that. Oh, look at that. In 2013, when M23 had captured Goma, the production of coltan in Rwanda went up to a quarter of the world's coltan production. They even surpassed Brazil, which has been the leader of coltan for ages. So in 2013, Rwanda became the leader of coltan production in the world. And today, the data shows the opposite. So the current Congolese president actually has stopped this flow of black market coltan being stolen from Rwanda. And if the Wikipedia were to show us today, 2023, Rwanda has nothing. It has nothing, as they have always heard. And Congo maybe has a good number. But you understand what I'm saying. So that is what is happening in Congo. And that's why they need to, this election actually is something that determines this. And a lot of people ignore the fact that all these are facts that are there. So I need to end this video here, but you understand. And maybe before I continue, is that yesterday something else happened. It happened in Burundi, and there was this rebel attack in west of Burundi that killed 20 people. 9 of them were women and children, and 2 of them were police officers. So almost 18 were civilians. And the group was called the Red Tabara rebel groups. And guess which country trains, arms, and provides logistical support to this group? So, according to this report, actually from the UN group of experts, Rwanda was dismissing a UN report that charged it of aiding these Burundi rebel groups. And according to this PDF I found here, this is from the US Government Accountability Office. It was a report for the Congressional Committee on Accountability. And it is titled Conflict Mineries, Overall Peace and Security in Eastern Congo has not improved since 2014, since that time. And if you go to page 27 of this report, I don't want you to go and look for it and read. It says this, that at times, according to various sources, these countries have used proxy groups to further geopolitical aims or to combat armed groups working against their government. For instance, the Burundian armed group Red Tabara, the one that attacked and killed 20 people yesterday, has received support from Rwanda, according to experts from an international NGO. The UN group of experts reported in 2016 that 3 Burundian armed groups, not just the Red Tabara, there are 2 others, have received training and support from Rwandan individuals, including Rwandan military personnel. So that's a report from the US. The US is a friendly country to Rwanda, so there's no way they can just wake up and make a report about Rwanda that is not true. But guess what? It is the same country, because show me another country in Africa that has training programs for rebel groups that are supposed to cross the border and attack neighboring countries. I don't know any. No, not Kenya, not Ethiopia, not Tanzania, not Namibia, none. Only one country does that. And it is like in Rwanda that they have these international schools for training rebel groups. So the next time you want to form a rebel group, I think Rwanda has an international school of rebels where you can go there. That's just food for thought, just in case you think of forming one.